Hello, beautiful souls, beautiful beings, and welcome back to part two of what is attachment and how can we love without attachment. And in this space of really understanding, you know, what attachment really is and how can we love without attachment. Attachment is in our physical reality. It gives us that space, as I talked about in a previous episode, about ownership and really owning what is ours. But no one can really own anything. There's no ownership in love. There's no ownership in energy. We can't own anything. We can't own anyone. We are all free spirited, free will beings having a human experience on this planet. So how can we love without attachment? First, you have to love yourself. Period. You do the things that you allow for love in your life, to love yourself, because love creates, love evolves, love expands, love is consciousness. We have to remember that love is a conscious energy, just like you are. We are here, mind, body, all physical reality. And so the bonding experience to love is, how much do I love myself? Do I love myself enough to open my space up to someone else? Do I love myself enough to allow someone else in my space, or something, or someone, or another experience? And that's how love ebbs and flows. We have these loving experiences, whether it's with a partner, a friend, a pet, a plant, all sentient beings or non-sentient. It is in the energy in which we live, because everything gives off love. Everything gives off a frequency. But love is also the free will. Love is the elements. It's all the forces. Love is the bond. Love exists in all things. And since love is consciousness, is God love as well? The answer to that is yes. Because God, or what we label as God, created all of this. Or did we create it? Did we really create all of this through our own consciousness, through our own awareness? And we, I've been in the throes of my own self-studies and research about religion and deities and so forth and so on. And all the way back, if you guys want to go back and watch my current nine-part episode of the civilization of Mu, and how I talk about the religion there and how they didn't call God God. They had God as a deity, and God was never with a capital G. God was everyone else, because they knew that God was here. God is here. God is everywhere, because God is love. God is consciousness. So if we allow ourselves to open up to love, to receive that love, and release the attachment, release the expectations of receiving something because of the energy of love, directly from someone else. It could come indirectly from other people. And so it is in that space, that time energy, that we simply allow ourselves to say, hey, the love that I feel for you is not as great that I have for myself, or the love that I have for you is not as great that I have for someone else. And so when we look at that, and knowing that God is the deity, the creator of all that there is, the external forces that we can manipulate of our choosing. And yes, I say manipulate because we are energetic beings in material bodies, that through consciousness we can manipulate energies in all its forms, if we allow ourselves to study, understand, and know how these energies work and how they function. And so it's in the space of thought and really understanding that our labels create another space of attachment, because it is through the ego and material that we have to attach labels to everything for us to better understand what it is, when it's simply love, or simply this, or simply that. We complicate it through the labeling, which is the attachment that we have to all things. And so, if love is the base operating system that we function on, then what is everything else? What is everything that we experience through the pain, the grief, the loss, the emotional stress that we put ourselves through daily? What is it all for? Ask yourself, why do I put myself through all of this just to get to here, to have an experience and to repeat this experience, to repeat these patterns, to repeat these cycles, which is creating a more in-depth attachment and suffering, because we have to remember that each and every day, every week, every day, cells are dying in our body, energy is being replaced, and when the energy is being replicated in our body, it's being replicated with the same thoughts, same energy, same ideas, same patterns, because it's being held in our cells and our DNA. So we have to really begin to understand that everything that's here, and everything, the external forces that we experience are replicating here. And so that's part of the reason why some of us get stuck, or we are in the space of attachment, because it's literally in our DNA, it's literally in our cells. Every experience, all the knowledge, everything that we've ever been through. So when we lose something, it's that great sense of loss, that grief. So, which is in turn the suffering that we experience when it's definitely in the space and time for us to let something go. And by that, every traumatic experience, every fear based experience, everything is here. So then, how do we allow ourselves to let that go? You find somebody like me. You find somebody like me, soul mentor, energy facilitator, to assist you on your path to be free of these traumas. But I digress. That's something else for another show. But Diane, I hope this is answering your questions about um, why is there suffering. And suffering is an experience that we have to have, because if we didn't know what suffering was, we wouldn't know the counterpart, the opposite of that, which is the love, the joy, the peace, the happiness. Without the opposite, we would never know. We would never understand the true essence of the energy of love. And understanding that everything that we experience is imprinted upon our energy, imprinted upon ourselves, our DNA, is imprinted upon all of in every layer of who we are. The greater the experience, the larger the imprint. And so, and now as I say that, why is fear so strong? Because it's the lowest and most dense of all the emotions. Because only two emotions really exist: love and fear. And since fear is the most dense, it's the heaviest. And so that's why we feel it the most, because of the density. And reason why, sometimes people feel that love is hard to obtain is because it's of light, it is of energy. So we have to allow ourselves to elevate, evolve, ascend to that space of love, and to really touch that, to feel that, to acknowledge that. And as we move through the physical reality that we experience, then how do we begin to fully become aware and channel and really step into the space of the divine? Because everything is a cycle, everything is all connected, and once we begin to recognize this cycle and patterns in our life, we then can begin to end the suffering, the anger, the the lower densities that are holding us in this space. Because right now you have to understand that we are collectively in fourth density, which is the space and time is now for us to let go of all of that. Because once we ascend into fifth density, we there won't be any space for that. There won't be any space for any traumas. There won't be any space for fears or any other lower vibrating energies, because our bodies won't be able to hold that. So now is the time to let all of that go. And as we move through that, attachment is survival, and it's connected to the root chakra, the foundation of foundations. So when we look at that energetically, what does that feel like? How does that connect it to the energetic space of our bodies? And how do we carry? How do we move in each and every day? How do we function? And when the structure of attachment is gone, so is the foundation. So when we allow ourselves to be clear that we then have to go through the rebuilding process of ourselves, of our souls, of our energy. And so then you have to instruct yourself to start doing good habits, habits of love, habits of care, habits of things that will support you to build a stronger, more indestructible foundation. So that way, if you build a tower of love and peace and happiness and joy, and some experience knocks that tower down, but yet you still have a very strong foundation. You have a strong core to rebuild that upon, to really take that into another aspect of really who you are. And if survival is a physical reality, it's a construct of lower frequency energies and vibration, then so is everything else. We have to really begin to see what the constructs of our life are, what they experience, what they bring, what the importance of them are, whether if this is individually or collectively. And if this construct is failing, then that means you're doing a good job in allowing yourself to move forward in releasing the attachment, into understanding the grief, the loss, the pain, the suffering of something that you once had. And it's okay to have these moments of grief. It's okay to have these moments of loss because it is the acknowledgement of understanding that you're growing, you are experiencing life in its new way, and really begin to understand that the old belief systems, everything is coming to a close, because as I harness these answers, it really is for me to understand humanity better and to translate this information for you to have a better life. So attachment, it is what you label it to be. It's the loss, it's the grief, it's the suffering, it's the love, it's all of it. But as we move through our life in spaces of awareness, it is in this awareness that we hold the energy of what's dear to us, to know what is present for us, and to know what is most important and what's more important than love. So when you allow yourself to love without attachment, or to just simply be in the presence of love, be that, live that, experience that. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed this first in-depth episode of being Omni, to where you look within yourself and to find what is beautiful for you. Till next time, everyone.